Hello everyone, it's Mike from Downtown Comics, and I'm here to go over all the free comics coming out this Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. If you didn't know, this Saturday will be the 23rd official free comic book day. So it started in 2002, we're in 2025, but this year is unique because we are under quite a bit of controversy going forward. I can not say with a surety that we will have a 24th free comic book day at this stage of the game. For those of you who want a small snippet of what's going on, go ahead and keep listening. If not, just skip ahead a couple minutes and I'll start going over all the free comics. Basically, the main distributor of comics, Diamond, went into bankruptcy shortly after announcing the free comic book day books last December of 2024. As such, there were some cancellations. So depending on what list you're looking at, I want to make sure that you understand the following free comics that were announced way back in December are as not coming out this year. So what we have is one for Hero Bear and the Kid, Flash Gordon, there was a Phineas and Ferb, something called Princess Guinevere, I think that was for something new, The Lost Marvels, and a Lilo and Stitch comic. And lastly, those have all been scrubbed from the Free Comic Book Day website at freecomicbookday.com. There is one, however, that is on there that, as of now, I don't believe ever shipped. I think it was canceled late. If anyone else in the country got it, it may be the rarest free comic ever. It is the Valiant comic. So it is still on the website. It was canceled as far as I know. I don't know that any other publisher picked it up, or distributor picked it up. So we definitely won't have that, but I don't know. Maybe it exists somewhere. So there you go. So anyway, all those books were canceled after this Diamond bankruptcy thing. And as of now, Free Comic Book Day is kind of in a weird separate thing from, I don't know. It's all business that I don't understand. But basically, there's a certain license that is actually owned as Free Comic Book Day. It's possible that by next year, no one will own that license or it just won't exist. So I honestly don't know. This could be the last Free Comic Book Day, which would be very sad for me, honestly. This is one of the best events, I think, for any industry ever created, and I love it to death. So anyway, let's get happy and get on a positive note. All right, we're going to go over all 45 free comics that you may or may not find at the various stores, including mine. Remember, all store owners, they don't have to get all of these books. They don't have to give you one of everything. Every store has their own way of doing it, so make sure that you follow their rules and don't get mad about anything they may say or do, because these do cost us money. So just remember that. They're not free to us. All right, so one thing to know about Free Comic Book Day is they are color-coded. So we're going to go over the all ages first. That's green. Then we're going to go over the kind of the mid-tier, which is basically all the way up to your 16-year-olds is fine. That's our blue tier. And then finally, our so-called adult level, or, rated R, I guess, in theory, is our red tier. Okay? All right, so let's start with our green tier. And actually, we're going to start with, I guess, a new color, yellow. This must be even younger than that. So probably the youngest book we have. So if you've got the really young ones, you can see that this one is just for the youngest of the young. So not that everyone wouldn't like it. So this is the Tamagotchi comic. I don't know when possible. I will let you know if this is something that's coming out or reprints or whatever. So, but I don't know anything about any new Tamagotchi stuff coming out. So, but there you go. All right. So now on to green. Dr. Seuss, this graphic novel, I believe, is already released. This is just a preview of it. From Keen Spot, we have the Toy Box. So this is various young adult stuff, properties that they have. They're probably just all previews. Creaky Acres, that's a new YA graphic novel. Again, that is either just released or will release in the next couple weeks. Bad Kitty, I don't know who is doing this. It looks like Boom, but they're not there. So what's the publisher of this? I don't know, but I think Bad Kitty is a series of graphic novels, and I think they are out. One of the bigger ones, Power Rangers Prime. Now, this title launched a few months ago. We're getting to the end of the first arc, so probably the trade is due out. So you've got that, a preview. You can jump on board that comic. But then they are launching a new one in that universe called VR Troopers. So that's on the back there. All right, so Minecraft is all the rage. The first volume of Minecraft the manga came out a few weeks ago. So this is a preview of that manga, but it is available in most stores. For Marvel, one of the first Marvel ones is our young adult Iron Man's Awesome Friends and Spidey Amazing Friends. They have various books that are released throughout the year, so there's multiple ones. So I don't know if it's a preview of a new one or just previews of ones that are already on the rack. So from Skybound, this is something new. I don't know when it's releasing, but Transformers: The Worst Bot Ever. So this is a new kind of maybe younger take on the Transformers and probably more of a humor book. So that should be coming out in some form or fashion later on. Also coming out later this summer, Hulk Teach. All right, so this is from Jeffrey Brown. He did the books where it's like Darth Vader and Son, I believe. I think he's a cartoonist, so his stuff is really popular. All right, so Will Eisner, one of the heroes of the industry of just the graphic novel, the concept of it. He gets a retrospective, so there's a comics biography coming out about him. So this is a preview of that. From Dark Horse, we have Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. They've already had a couple of graphic novels about that. So this probably previews that. And also in here is Avatar. They are also, it's not on the back, but Avatar, that's the last Airbender Avatar, will also be promoted. Mega Man is returning to comics. So that is coming up in a couple of months. And that is by Udon. They don't have the best publishing schedule, I'll be honest with you. They say stuff's coming out and then it gets late. But anyway, it's a preview of an upcoming book from them. And of course, Archie always seems to have a free comic book day. So it'll just have various snippets of Archie comics they release throughout the year. And that's all for our green level. All right, so green level done. Let's move on to our blue level. They are doing a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar biography in a graphic novel. So that is called Champion. Not out yet. We've got two big manga ones besides Minecraft, of course. Kagurabachi, I always mispronounce that, is already on the racks. I think there's been 3 volumes so far. So that is brand new. Is there anything on the back here? Ruri Dragon. So anyway, you can check that out if you like it. There is volumes available. And then the other one is called Isaac, which is a new one coming out in a couple of months. That's a new one. And then something called Tower Dungeon also is talked about in that one. All right, from Dark Horse, we have a double threat of the Mighty Nine, who they've owned the copyright on Critical Role for a while now. So there's new stuff coming this summer. And also Black Hammer. That's another IP they own. Gives you a reading list here on the back. And they will probably have some new stuff out this summer as well. Keen Spot is really leaning into the Mark Spears Monsters. So this has been a super, super hit, at least in our stores, probably around the country. This guy's a fantastic painter, and people love monsters in general, especially the classic ones. So this is if you haven't read any of it or seen it, this is a great one to try to check out and see if you like it. All right, we've got a new Street Fighter, again from Udon, versus the Rival Schools, so we'll see when that comes out. All right, there's 2 from Dynamite. One is a Thundercats Powerpuff Girls crossover, so both of those titles have ongoing series, but now they're doing a crossover book that comes out in a month or so, so that's probably a preview of that. Also coming out in about a month or so, the new Gargoyles Dumona, so this will be a preview of that new series. All right, DC. DC's got 3 books this year. First one is the All-In Special. So basically half of it is leading into the new Superman Unlimited comic that's coming out in a month. They're launching a new Superman comic, so you get a preview of that. And then on the back is, or in the back side, the other half, is a new tease about things going on in the Absolute universe. So if you've read Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Man, Absolute Superman, and now they've got Absolute Flash, Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Martian Manhunter. They really have been separate up until now. This story is going to start to bring some links of possibility together. stemming a lot from Darkseid's death or, him creating this universe. So probably want to check that out if you read any of those. We also have ones that are labeled blue, but I feel like this should be green. Superman's Good Guy Gang. This is probably going to be a new YA graphic novel, but they made it a blue one. The other one that's getting a new graphic novel is called Kanga You, which I guess is all the heroes as kangaroos. So, all right, that's fun. Then we go on to Marvel. Marvel having 4 big books this year. So the first one is previewing the upcoming Fantastic Four #1. They're relaunching the Fantastic Four, probably because the movie's coming out and they want something low in number. So the old series is ending. This is an original story in there, though. It's actually more of an end to the original story that's being told right now. It's just a one-shot story, but they are talking about the new FF. And then the other one is promoting a crossover event with what they're calling the Giant Size. So they're doing new Giant Size X-Men, Giant Size this and that. There's going to be 4 or 5 of them, kind of like annuals. There's going to be an event there. It involves Miss Marvel. There's a little preview of that in there, so that'll be interesting. Our other big one is promoting the new Amazing Spider-Man comic, which launched just a month ago. So it had a new #1 with a one-shot story there, not a reprint, new stuff. And then also, I think, I haven't read it and I don't know, because in the Ultimate Universe, the new one, the new book coming out called Spider-Man Incursion, which involves Miles Morales from the current Marvel Universe going to the new Ultimate Universe. So that will be interesting, but it is a preview of that, but I don't know if it's taken directly from the #1 issue, which is not out yet, or it's new material. So have to wait on that. The Marvel Voices, that usually gets a free comic book day the last few years. There is a brand new Ironheart story and then snippets from previous Marvel Voices starring Kahara, Mystique, and Storm. So that'll be fun. And then Star Wars also, because it is almost May the 4th. There's a bunch of new Star Wars projects. The biggest one is there is a new Star Wars #1. The old Star Wars ended about 6 months ago. They're relaunching it kind of in a new time frame of the movie serials. And the little preview of that, you get a preview of the Vader's Legacy comic that is currently ongoing. You also get a preview of the Jedi Knights comic that is now ongoing. So you get that. All right, onward to Red 5. Don't know much about this company. Occasionally they come out with stuff. They're obviously promoting some things that they will be producing in the near future. Boom, celebrating their 20th anniversary, is giving you a really good snippet of stuff from some of their very famous IPs. So you're going to get Berserker. Again, this is all reprint material. Previews of Berserker, Irredeemable, The Many Deaths of Lila Starr, The Mouse Guard, which just came back, Hello Darkness, their horror title. So all of those are reprints, but if you've never tried out any of those properties, this is a great book. This is from Oni. This is the Blood Type. So the EC license, the old classic license that, Tales of the Crypt and Vault of Horror and stuff were released in the 50s. That license was renewed by Oni Comics. They've launched 3 titles. Those 3 titles are Epitaphs from the Abyss, Cruel Universe, and Cruel Kingdom. So you get little snippets of all 3 of those titles. And of course, they are touting a new one coming out soon called Blood Type. So that's a 4th one they're going to be launching. All right, so probably one of the bigger books of Free Comic Book Day is the Energon Universe Special. So this one is usually big enough where not only do they give it away for free, but to make sure everyone is able to get it, they actually put out a version where you have to buy it. So you can get it for free on this Saturday, but if you miss it, they are going to put out a version you can buy for $3.99 or something like that. Anyway, it gets you up to speed on things going on in the G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Void Rivals universe. And they're not reprints, so they're brand new story items. All right, we've got the Best of 20,000 AD. Again, this is probably one of the companies that have had the longest run of just, they always have one. So again, if you're a Judge Dredd fan, it's one of the best opportunities to get something. They're constantly, offering Best of 2000 AD trades and stuff. So those can be ordered, but yeah, basically they're not doing a comic. Also, a weird one that we got right at the end was Gundam Wing. So, big fan of the toys. We sell them in our stores, and they're promoting a new line, I guess, of toys. And so they made a comic for it. So I don't think there's an actual comic coming out. So this is just maybe getting people like, hey, Gundam's cool, and hey, we make the models that you can put together. So. Another big one is going to be Godzilla. Godzilla was just announced as having a whole new kind of universe built around it with IDW, the main publisher that has the license. This is going to give you a snippet from some of the new titles, so that'll be fun. That starts this summer. 2 new IPs coming out from Mad Cave. Speed Racer is getting a new comic, so it is returning to comics after a hiatus. And then The Phantom is also returning. So both those IPs returning sometime this summer, I assume. But those are previews of both of those. And that is all our blue Free Comic Book Days. So let's go to our red ones. All right. So first off, we have a new Conan book coming out from Titan Comics called Scourge of the Serpent. I assume it's a new miniseries. The show Black Mirror is getting a comic book. So I don't know how it's going to work because I don't watch Black Mirror. But yeah, if you're a fan of that TV show, check out the comics because this is a publisher I don't recognize off the top of my head. So, also, a new one coming out from Vault, very independent publisher, Post Malone's Big Rig. So there you go. He's getting his own comic book series, I guess. If you're into horror, then we've got another horror one, and this is an IDW horror one. So, Beneath the Trees That Nobody Sees, 30 Days of Night, Tuatha, and Blood Honey. So I know Beneath the Trees That Nobody Sees and 30 Days of Night is obviously, it looks like those are new projects that they're coming out with. So some previews of new horror stuff. Vault also has one touting a Def Leppard Hysteria comic. So if you're a fan of that band, they're going to be in comics. Video game fans, Diablo, who has had comics before, seems to be getting a new comic, and it looks like Titan is doing it, so that'll be fun. And lastly, for our last red one, is the very famous I Hate Fairyland. So yeah, this looks kiddie, but it's not. It is red. Don't give it to your kids. So I Hate Fairyland. It's an Image comic. It's been going on forever. I'm not sure if this is new material or just reprints to get you into it. There's a compendium available. It's had many series, so it's been around for a decade now or so. So there you go. All right, so we have, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We have 14 all ages, 2, 4, 6, 8, something like 24 or 25 of the blue ones, and looks like 7 adult ones. So again, those are just guidelines. You as a parent choose what your kids can read and what they can't. And yeah, there we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some information. Again, Free Comic Book Day is this Saturday. Check the local stores' hours. Also check what they're doing. Some stores have sales during that day. Just check it out. You can use freecomicbookday.com if you don't know where your closest local comic book store is. Type in your zip code and they can find the stores that have registered closest to you to help you out. Again, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments and I'll try and answer it. But other than that, have a great day. Enjoy it. Like I said, it's very, very possible this may be the last one. So, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Talk to you later. Bye.